Ever see a fender bender turn into a full parking lot soap opera, with everyone pointing fingers like it is a courtroom episode of a reality show? In a multi-car collision, liability means figuring out who caused the crash, or who helped cause it, and that can be one driver or several. You do not just ask, who hit who, and call it a day, because cars can bounce, chain reactions happen, and people love telling the story in a way that makes them look like the innocent sandwich in the middle. Lawyers and insurance companies look at the whole mess, including speed, following distance, traffic signals, and whether someone slammed the brakes for no good reason. Think of it like dominoes, except the dominoes weigh 2 tons, and everyone suddenly remembers their version of the truth. If the first driver stops short, and the second driver is texting like their thumbs are on vacation, both may share blame depending on the facts. Sometimes the person in the back gets blamed because rear-end crashes often happen when drivers follow too closely or do not stop in time. But if the first car had broken brake lights, cut someone off, or stopped dangerously in traffic, the blame can shift like a squirrel on caffeine. That is where accident injury lawyers come in, because they gather proof instead of just vibes and loud opinions. They look at photos, dashcam video, police reports, witness statements, car damage, and skid marks, which are basically the road's way of saying, here's what happened. Insurance companies usually want a neat story, because neat stories are cheaper and faster for them. Real life is messier, so lawyers work to show each driver's share of fault rather than letting one company hand out blame like a game show host. In many places, fault can be split between drivers, which means more than one person pays for the damage and injuries. That matters because if you were partly hurt by someone else's mistake and partly by another driver's mistake, each one may owe a share. Some states use comparative fault, which is a fancy way of saying everyone's slices of blame get counted. If you were a little careless too, your money may get reduced, but you may still recover something if the law in that state allows it. Other states are stricter and may block recovery if you are mostly at fault, which is why the location of the crash matters a lot. The same pileup can have very different results depending on where it happened, kind of like how one cafeteria lunch can somehow be both pizza and regret. Police reports help, but they are not magic spells, and they do not always get every detail right. Witnesses may miss the moment, drivers may panic, and the first version of a crash story is often missing a few puzzle pieces. That is why timing matters after a crash, because evidence can disappear faster than snacks at a movie night. Cars get repaired, weather changes tire tracks, and people forget details, so collecting information early can make a huge difference. If there are several cars involved, lawyers try to map the crash step by step. They ask who was first in line, who hit whom, and whether one bad move caused the whole chain reaction, because liability can follow the road like a breadcrumb trail. Medical records also matter, because injuries tell part of the story too. If one driver says they were lightly bumped, but the doctor's notes show a serious neck injury, the size of the impact and the forces involved may point to a bigger problem. People often think the biggest crash winner is the person with the loudest story, but courts and insurers usually care more about proof than drama. That is good news for you, because facts beat theater when the stakes are bills, treatment, and time off work. So in a multi-car collision, liability is usually sorted by comparing each driver's actions, the evidence, and the state law that applies. If you want to understand your specific situation better, talking to accident injury lawyers early can help you make sense of the blame game before it turns into a guessing game. And if you want to learn more about our company, check out our links in the description.